I had to check something. What's going on, everybody? I hope you're good. Oh, this is my third time recording this. If I can't get it this time, I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna trash this idea. I mean, I might do it in the future. I might. If I do, it'd be lucky. So, we're doing What If Deku Was a Titan Shifter. I'm just blitz through the intro. You know, like how he got his powers. Basically, in this universe, Eren decided not to exterminate all of the human race. He just decided to wipe their memory of all Titans and be like, okay, now you are at peace. Which we all know that ain't gonna work for very long. We're human, so it ain't gonna last long. Anyway, he orders all of the Colossal Titans, which were like the walls, all of the walls, to push all of, you know, his world into the My Hero world, and then ordered them to make mountains. You know, make the mountains like, you know, like Mount Fuji and all that. And then he turned himself into a giant crystal ball, essentially, and like hid in a ravine that he told the others, you know, the Colossal Titans to make, after absorbing all of the Titan Shifter's abilities, like all of them, including the female Titan. And then, you know, Midoriya fell into a cave that he was in, and, you know, Eren, with, like, what was left of his life force, because he was dying, real quick, decided to give, you know, this child all of the Titan Shifter's abilities. And after he transferred it, you know, Izuku learned instantly, he got all of Eren's memories, which was a lot. So yeah, and this Izuku can give and take away Titan Shifter abilities. So let's say he gives Bakugo, like, the freaking, I don't know, the Beast Titan or something. You know, he could just be like, alright, you take this, and now he can mind control Bakugo into doing. So yeah, it's crazy. Now, he's able to also choose whatever Titan he wants to shift into. I already have an idea of 2 people I want to give Titans to, and you'll find out who they are at a later date. Maybe 3. Ooh, yeah. Maybe 3. Maybe 3. Also, when they shift into Titan form, they're able to use their quirks. Okay. So, then Midoriya knows how to use his ability. So when he was like 16, he was like, Mom, look! I learned something cool! You know, I'm gonna say he, quote unquote, accidentally cut his finger. And he was like, huh? Ah! She was like, what's wrong? Ah, I cut my finger! You know, she's like, let me see. And when he moved his hand, the steam was rising. Now, he can control whether or not he shifts. He was like, what? You know, his mom was like, you have a quirk! That's so cool! Well, let's go get it checked out. You know, they go get it checked out, and, you know, all for one, you know, the doc thought he did steal his quirk, which he did. You know, Izuku was like, I have a quirk now, and then they're like, okay, show us. And he's like, okay, I had a dream about this thing I did last night. I had a dream that I did something really cool last night. He's like, well, show it. You know, he's like, we're gonna have to go outside. It's gonna be crazy. You know, they go outside. Izuku's like, alright, it's my first time doing this. You know, he does the Eren thing. He bites his hand, draws blood, and, you know, he's like, shift. Form, attack Titan. You know, and then he goes, big boy, throwing bigger. I'm just playing. I'm sorry. I got off topic. Anyway. So, he went into the Attack Titan form, and then he roared, which was like really loud. And you know, I ain't Catholic. He's pretty hot. He's pretty cool. He's steaming. You know, he's steaming up because, you know, that's how they Titan shift. Anyway, they're like, show us, you know, and then he's like, all right. You know, he makes the Titan get on it, you know, one knee, getting the nape really close to the ground. And then he opens the nape, and then a bunch of steam starts rising out, you know. And he pops his face out, and he's like, oh, that feels weird. You know, he pops his hands out, and they notice he's fully regenerated, and they're like, huh. So you can control the transformation. Well, yeah, if I don't have enough space, or I just don't want to. Hold on a second, you... Alright, I'm back. What's going on? What's good? Okay. So anyway, so after he got out of the Titan, they were like, alright, we need to test, like, your durability as, you know, as a human, your strength, what? Your strength, I didn't know what you meant by, excuse me. Your strength, your durability, your speed, you know, your regeneration, all that as a human. And then we need to do the same when you're in Titan form. And he's like, oh, okay. Sorry, I had to fix my mic. Don't mind me. So, basically, after they test, you know, his endurance, strength, the way they test his durability is like, see how much damage he needs to take before he shifts into Titan form, and his healing factor. Now, what they do first is make a little cut. You know, you can control whether or not to turn it on. It can be forcefully turned on if enough damage is applied, so he can safely regenerate. So, you know, at first they cut his finger, then he cut his finger off, and then his whole hand, then up to his elbow, and then his arm. And once the arm was gone, you know, they were outside when they did this. It forcefully shifted him into Titan form. So now they knew the limit of how much damage he could take, not really, before he was forced to shift. And, you know, after he shifted back, he's like, alright, but I have a little something else, okay? Now, we're gonna have to go somewhere really far away. Like, we're gonna have to go really far, because I have a feeling this could be very, very destructive. Now, just a quick reminder, he's going to keep the Colossal Titan, okay? Look, I know y'all are like, but bro, like, why? Well, think about it. He could turn into a walking nuclear warhead at any second. Just, like, if you just accidentally, you know, if you no, I'm not just playing. If, like, Toga stabbed him or something, like, he could turn into a giant nuclear warhead. Just wipes out half of all of Japan. Like, come on. Do you know how deadly the freaking Colossal Titans are? You can do so much more, too. As of right now, he has all of the Titan shifts, like I said. But, you know, he's eventually going to be like, alright, you know, shake my hand, we'll make a deal. So, you know, they get to a secure area. It's really deep underground, it's really big. You know, it's blast proof, so it should be able to survive. He's like, alright, should be big enough. Hopefully. Hey, did you do all your homework, Mom asked? Okay, she said she did. Did you do your spelling words?
Huh?
Did you do your spelling words?
Yes.
She said yes.
I did all my homework.
Okay. Anyway. So, he bites his hand, right? And then he transforms. Yeah, he's gonna turn into the Colossal Titan. Just, you know, the ground starts shaking. It's a big explosion. It's a big explosion. My favorite kind of explosion. I'm sorry. I need to stop. I need to be stopped. Someone help. Anyway, if you want me to make a part 2 to this, part 2 to what if Deku had boosted gear, or part 3 or 4, or of anything else, you want me to make part 2 of what if Deku had ink blood, which I just changed the name of, just tell me in the comments, you know. Give me something. Oh, yeah, I do need to make what if Deku went back to the past. I need to do a remake of that. You know what? Yeah, I'll do it later. this week. Maybe next week. I don't know. Whenever we got a break. So.
Why did you do that?
Anyway. I'm gonna go to my room while I record. It'll only take me a few more minutes. I'm almost to the part where I want to stop. And wait for the next episode if y'all will allow. Okay. When Midoriya, he had fully mastered his quirk, he can harden. Not in that way. He can... I'm sorry, I had to. He can do the Titan hardening ability in his human form and a bunch of other stuff. Like, he can release a lot of steam, but it makes him really tired. He can do a lot of stuff. So, when he goes to UA, he starts throwing big rounds at robots during the entrance exam. 1 punch, destroyed, 2 punch, 3 punch, 4 more destroyed. But by the time 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds, like 10, 5, 6 minutes had started, he already racked up 100 points. President Mike's like, one student already has 100 points. I'm never going to change that. I probably am. Anyway. So he was like, alright, I need to slow down. Then he saw the 0 pointer and he saw someone stuck under it. Now, who he saw stuck under it was... Hold on a second. Okay. Anyway. So, when Who Midoriya saw? Who should he... I just got the best idea. Best idea! Best idea I've ever had. Okay? Mikasa, however you pronounce it, did die, okay? Right? She got reincarnated. Yeah. Her quirk is, okay, she's not Momo. She's Momo's sister. But, she still goes by she goes by Ackerman instead of Yayorozu. So, she has a similar quirk, although she can only, she can't create objects. She can create objects. It's just she knows how to... She's just better at it, I guess. Okay? She's older. Why not? I'm trying to make their quirks different. Oh, yeah, she's able to make more complex objects than her sister. Like, she'd be able to make a working engine to, Okay. Anyway. When Midoriya, saw this, he was like, screw it. It's like, dang it, I gotta save her. Like that. And, I'm gonna say while running, he rips off a sharp piece of robot and stabs it in his arm. He's like, Jaw Titan! Because he was pretty far away. So, he shifted into the Jaws Titan, which, if you didn't know, can break through anything with its teeth. He launched himself that way and knocked the 0 pointer back. Even though the 0 pointer is about the size of... it's good. He's the size, a little bit bigger than the Attack Titan. Just a little bit. He still knocked it back. Got, ripped off the rubble, grabs Mikasa, and jumped out of the way. And then when he clawed into the floor while holding Mikasa, he put her down, popped out, and was like, okay, let's have some fun. She's like, wait, you're gonna fight that thing? With that? What are you gonna fight it as? Your quirk must take a while to recharge. Who said my quirk needed to recharge? Alright, let's do this. He bites his hand really hard. Like, he bites it extremely, extremely hard. And he says in his head, like, shift. Attack Titan. No. I'm gonna say he can, he uses the Warhammer Titan's ability to stay connected to the Jaws Titan for a little bit. Makes the Jaws Titan throw him into the air and then snaps the connection with the Jaws Titan. And once he was in the air, then he bit his hand and shifted into the Attack Titan. Anyway, so when he was coming down, you could hear the howl from like anywhere in the immediate vicinity. He just smashed his hand into the 0-pointer while it's hardened. Using the Diamond Titan ability. I'm just gonna call it the Diamond Titan. Diamond, like hardening. Diamonds, I don't know. When he did, it sent the 0-pointer back a little bit. And then he yelled again. Like... the 0-pointer started charging towards Izuku. Izuku doing the same. They locked hands. And I'm about to do something cool. Then he used the Warhammer's Titan powers to stab into the 0-pointer, spreading it all in, and then just shooting it all out. Like spikes, like killing it from the inside, because you can do that. Now I know what you're thinking, but how is a Titan Shifter's abilities going to be helpful in like a tiny combat scenario? Well, I'm gonna make it a little bit more interesting. See, how am I gonna make this more interesting? Oh, right. Okay. So, I'm gonna make, the whatchamacallit, what is it called? The Nomu that attacks the USJ a lot bigger, like a lot bigger. Like it's almost Titan-sized big. And yeah. Also, a bunch of the other arcs are gonna happen a lot earlier. Never mind. Oh yeah, I forgot the training camp arc. Yeah. I honestly do forget that arc sometimes, I swear. It's probably because in most of my what ifs I never get around to that arc. I just forget about it. My. Anyway, sorry. So, Izuku gets over, after destroying the 0-pointer, he just cut the part that was, in the 0-pointer off, and the 0-pointer just kind of exploded. He was walking away towards Mikasa, and then, used the Attack Titan to pull himself out while still being connected to, lightly put him down onto the ground, because he didn't feel like jumping down, because that kind of hurts. Just a little bit. And after putting him on the ground, he snaps the connection, which causes the Attack Titan to immediately start turning to steam. And she's like, how did you do that? He's like, my quirk. I can do a lot of crazy stuff with this. Oh yeah, he can also manipulate lightning, because lightning. Yeah, he can generate lightning in his hands. And, he can, he can make weapons out of Titan bone, which are, like, extremely durable, if you didn't know. Yeah, they're pretty durable. Ow, biscuits. Anyway. So yeah, also, like I said, he has access to every Titan, which means he has access to every Titan shift. So once he, gets his results, he's like, alright, listen. Oh yeah, I forgot about the sludge villain incident. He said, can I be a hero with, a really destructive quirk, because his quirk can be really destructive. All Might said no, so he just wanted to rub it in All Might's face. He's still gonna be a hero, but you know, he's not gonna take one for all. Because it wouldn't do anything to his quirk. Well, actually, he might just take one for all. You know what? Screw it. Comment down below if he takes one for all. He probably won't take it, but you know, he might. Anyway. So, Midoriya, after about like, you know, a few weeks, first day, I was like, so, what else can your quirk do? Considering you can turn into giant monsters. Well, he's like, well, they're not monsters. They're actually called Titans. He's like, why are they called Titans? Well, why do you think? Oh yeah, those two, the first one's called the Jaws Titan. It's teeth. You saw the mask? You know, and they're like, yeah. Well, with that, I can cut through anything. It can chomp through anything. I have a few others. I have a lot more, too. I can also give them to other people and take them away. And he's like, wait, you can give people parts of your quirk? You could give people your quirk? And he's like, no. Like, parts of my quirk. They only get one Titan. And depending on that one Titan's abilities, could completely change how their bodies react to it. He's like, what does that mean? Like, say, what's a good example? Hey, kid with the engine legs, huh? I'm gonna give you something. He's like, you're going to give me a quirk? You're going to give me your quirk? I would highly advise against that. My quirk is powerful. Shush. I'm going to take it back immediately after, okay? Now, I'm going to need you to listen. Also, whoever has my quirk, I have access to control their mind. So they have to listen to my orders. Watch. Okay. I'm going to give you this guy. He gives him the Armored Titan, right? Am I recording? I'm about to be mad if I'm not recording. Anyway, he gives him the Armored Titan. He's like, oh, that feels weird. He's like, I know. Trust me. It's really weird to give it to you. Anyway, I'm gonna need you to bite your hand as hard as you can. What? Would you rather me stab you? He's like, what? You have to have some kind of injury in order to shift. It's the only way. He's like, how does that work? Because of the iron in your bloodstream, it triggers an electromagnetic reaction with the atmosphere, causing particles to get turned into yeast, which then create an immense amount of heat by fusing together, creating the extra bone, you know, the extra bone, muscle, and tissues that is needed to create the Titans. The bigger the Titan, the more heat, the more energy that's needed. You can just use the same amount of injury, it doesn't really matter the amount of injury. But if enough injury is exported onto the Titan said shifter, depending on the Titan, it could take a lot less damage or a lot more damage to forcibly shift them. And they're like, okay, that makes a little bit of sense, but why do you have to inflict injury? Like I said, it exposes the iron in your bloodstream to the atmosphere, causing an electric reaction. They're like, oh, doesn't it hurt? Yeah, you get used to it after a while. So then Ida's like, oh, and he bites his hand. You know, the Armored Titan appears. Now it has engine calves, Ida's quirk. And it has blue hair. And he's like, so what do I do? Because I'm going to say Izuku gave him the ability to speak in Titan form. He's like, okay, what do I do now? He's like, well, try breaking off pieces of armor. He's like, okay, you know, I'm gonna say the engine calves were covered, and he shatters the back calf plating, and he's like, my engines? How? He's like, your quirk can show through. It takes after your body, just giving you some traits of the actual Titan. Depending on your quirk, it can completely change what the Titan looks like. For instance, mine has green hair, his has blue, and he has horrible eyesight. Hey. What? You need glasses? Shush. True. But it doesn't matter. Once you're in the Titan, it fixes any major problem you have. I actually have a quadrupedal Titan that, when attached to a person who can't use their legs, it allows them to move. Trust me, I've done this before. So try using your quirk. Okay. You know, Ida uses quirk and runs around the school really quick. He's like, why am I so tired? You're bigger, which means you need more energy. And plus, this is your first time Titan shifting. Get down and focus on releasing the Titan form. He's like, okay. You see where he's coming out of? Yeah. You know, class 1A, including as I was like, yeah. That's where his actual body's kept. What? Yep. You see, your physical body... how do I explain this? When you're in Titan form, you still have a physical anchor to the world. Your Titan body can take an immense amount of damage, depending on which Titan. His Titan is strictly made for defense, although some Titans can bypass the defense. But considering no one else has my power, there's no way anyone could get past it besides me. Plus, all I have to do is touch the person, and they lose it. Permanently. They keep their quirk, I just take the Titan back. It's pretty cool. So, what about that other Titan? Oh, you mean the Attack Titan? Yep, that's my pride and joy. They're like, why? Because it's the most versatile Titan. It's strong, durable, and with enough stamina, you can make as many Titans as you want. Wait, so if you gave a Titan to All Might, like the Armor Titan, Ida says like the Armor Titan. Exactly. Plus, you get quite the healing factor when, you have a Titan. He proceeds to make his hand into diamond and cut Ida's hand off. My hand! He starts screaming, my hand! Wait a second. Steam starts coming off it. He's like, what? Exactly. Now, I'm gonna give you a Titan with a crazy healing factor. He gives him the Warhammer Titan and takes back the Armor Titan. He gives him the Warhammer. His hand completely regenerates. He's like, whoa. Can you please take these? And he's like, okay. I was gonna take them back anyway. Thank you for asking me to take them. I didn't, I would have taken them by force if you were like, I want to keep them. But, it's polite that you're giving them back. And they're like, so which one's your strongest? And he's like, it's a cross between my Colossal and the Founder. He's like, They're like, the Founder? Yeah, that's the one that gives me access to control everyone. Every Titan. Any Titan shifter that I give the abilities to. I may lose the abilities, but I gain foot soldiers. They have to listen to what I say. If they don't, their Titan sides will tear them apart from the inside. Literally. Like, all of the Titan abilities, besides mine, which, is an obvious bluff, reside in the spinal cord. Huh? Why? Because it's your nervous system. It uses the electromagnetic pulses in your nervous system to not only start the Titan shifting process, but also control the Titan. It would start destroying your nervous system if you disobeyed my orders. Like, for example, he gives, the quadrupedal Titan to Ida. He's like, okay, Ida, I want you to stab me. He's like, what? No! he just starts, feeling like he's about to fall. He feels like he's being electrocuted. He's like, ah! Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. He's like, sorry. I was just using it as an example. He says, we're cool. You can stop. He takes the quadrupedal titan back, and he's like, that hurt a lot. Izuku's like, of course it would hurt. I was attacking your nervous system directly. They're like, jeez. So if you were to give one to a villain, if you were to give it to a villain and tell them to tell you the truth, ask them to tell you the truth about something, they would have no choice but to, or they would die. Well, not die, but they'd be tortured, which actually isn't a bad idea. Thank you, whoever said that. Okay, so, what do you want me to do? Throw this ball as hard as you can with whatever you want. He's like, oh, okay. He picks up the ball. Also, being a Titan shifter of my caliber, having all of the Titans, he throws the ball, it breaks. Huh? Coming, hold on. Okay. Back to the recording. All right, so when so after Midoriya says, since you're a Titan shifter of my caliber, after he throws the ball and breaks Mach speed, you tend to have a little bit extra power, like attack. You tend to have a little bit more power. And as I was like, so what does this colossal Titan even do? Well, then he says, well, it's one of the 3 Titans that I'm never going to give up. He's like, why? Because it essentially turns the person into a hydrogen bomb. They're like, what? How do you know? Well, every night, if I want to know about a Titan, I just go in my head, ask the founding Titan, which has a mind of its own. Kinda. It listens to me because I'm its host. I ask it to tell me about certain Titans. It tells me everything I need to know. Especially about the Attack Titan, which I know the most about. Actually, there's a form that I haven't even gotten access to yet. It's called the Berserker form. They're like, Berserker form? Yeah, it's super cool. I love it. I love how it sounds. They're like, why? Because when I activate the Berserker, if I'm able to get it, when I activate it, it'll cause me to go into a Berserker stage where the Titan's eyes turn blue, and it increases heat, which causes veins in it to light on fire and start releasing heat, even more heat. It's crazy. And then, they're like, okay, so that's extremely powerful. But what other Titans do you have? Well, he's like, well, let me see. I have the Quadrupedal Titan, the Warhammer Titan, which is another one of my favorites. The Female Titan, and they're like, Female Titan? I can't use that one. Only girls can. It's weird. The Armor Titan, which y'all saw. The Jaws Titan, which you also saw. And I have a few other ones, but I have a lot more, but I can't think of a name for them because I have only heard about them once. Because in my dreams are a lot longer than time. So like an hour in real life is like a year in my dreams because it's really cool. Anyway, Midoriya, as I was like, Midoriya, so I have another question. Would it be possible to kill a Titan shifter? Well, and Izuku starts thinking, well, it depends on the shifter. He's like, what do you mean? Well, for me, it pretty much is impossible for me to die. Other Titans, very possible. The Quadrupedal Titan is very fast and it has insane endurance, but its durability and strength are so low that if the Titan shifter themselves is heavily damaged, they could possibly be killed. They can be killed. But with the Attack Titan users, it's almost impossible. You'd have to have a precise shot right through their heart, and then completely incinerate the body before they start regenerating. Their body forces out the metal rod. And they're like, what? The Attack Titan users are that strong? Yeah, they can also see into the future. What? Yeah. Well, it only works if I'm shifted into the Titan. It allows me to see a few minutes into the future. It allows me to see however long I want into the future. So it's extremely useful in a fight, because you know what your opponent's going to do before they do it, so you know the perfect counter. You know, everyone's like, that's insane. It's like, yeah. Plus, I can also turn people into normal Titans. What do you mean normal Titans? As I was like, what do you mean normal Titans? Well, normal Titans are Titans that have no mind of their own. They're essentially mindless husks. I can make those out of like bugs and, little creatures. If I were to turn a human into one, they'd turn it into an unnatural Titan. You're like, what do you mean by unnatural? Well, they would have irregular behavior and be almost impossible to predict what they're going to do. Also, if you hide a Titan... Also, I found this out because I accidentally did it one time. Don't worry about it. That if you encase a Titan, if you keep a Titan in a very dark area, a mindless Titan in a very dark area, it can't move. It can't do anything. It's extremely useful. Like, so what ability allows you, as I was like, so what ability allows you to create these mindless Titans? And he's like, the Founding Titan. Or Yon. Or something like that. Anyway, it's the next day, it's time for, All Might offered the quirk, and Izuku's like, I'll think about it. So, Midoriya, it's time for the heroes versus villains. It was Mikasa, which kinda yandere for our main Midoriya boy. Midoriya and Mikasa versus Bakugo and Ida. And, Bakugo's like, hey, no! And he's like, yeah, Bakugo? I'll make you a deal. I beat you, you give me a Titan of my choosing. Sure, as long as it's not one of my four... I'm not going to give you the Warhammer, Attack, Founding, or Colossal. You can have any of the other ones. That's if you win, which is going to be impossible. He's like, well, if I do win, you give us a Titan. If you win, you get bragging rights. He's like, no. You work for me if I win. How are you going to make us? By giving you Titans. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot you can do that. It's only the second week of school, Bakugo. They get into their position. Izuku's like, alright, watch out for a second. He starts rubbing his hands together to generate electricity. And he touches both of the walls. And that sends a shock through the entire building, finding out where they are. And he's like, top floor. And she's like, got it. She makes the what is it called? The movement gear from the show. She launches herself up there, and he's like, alright. I guess I'll cause a distraction. He transforms into the... What's a really small type? No, he doesn't transform at all. He runs into the building. He's like, alright. He hardens his hands. He starts punching some of the foundation. Like the supporting beams. And, the villains have to run down to stop him. And he's like, so you came. And they're like, you're insane. Why were you doing that? And he's like, well, I was hoping I'd get your attention. And they're like, well, you got it now. You know, they rush towards him. You know, he was like, Katsuki, stop. You know, you're going to be captured, or whatever.
I think he just passed out.
By accident. I think he's coming back. We're talking about the pizza guy. Okay. Anyway, Midoriya was like, we win. You know, Mikasa touches the bomb, and they're like, All Might's like, hero team wins. You know, Mikasa's like, dang straight. You're stuck, you big... What? Okay. I'm gonna pause the recording right quick. Anyway. When... where was I? I forgot. Oh yeah. Momo Yaoyorozu, you know, Yaoyorozu was like, well... Izuku was right to do that. It caused enough of a distraction to do... You know, it was enough of a distraction to cause enough, you know, of a distraction to let Mikasa, that's her name. I keep forgetting. I'll do it in a minute. Gracie May, stop it. To get the bomb, which was extremely smart on his part. And, you know, All Might's like, she got it down packed. Intelligent. Good. You know, and he's like, exactly, Miss Yaoyorozu. Young Yaoyorozu. Are you stuck? Do you need help? Do you want me to get you out? And then Midoriya, not Midoriya, you know. There. Okay. Midoriya, after, you know, a while, was like, no, after a few days, it was time for them to go to the USJ. Then, you know, the giant version of the Nomu that I created. Yes? Okay. Anyway, Midoriya, you know, was like, finally, I get a challenge. You know, he starts running down there, and I was like, no, Midoriya. You know, 13 was like, what is he doing? He's like, ugh. Dang that shifter. You know, Izuku bites his hand, you know, transforms into the Attack Titan, and all the villains are like, what is this thing? You know, he and the Nomu, because the Nomu's a lot bigger, because they were like, alright, go big or go home. You know, him and the Nomu start throwing good hands. It's a good fight. They were, you know, Izuku's like, alright, time to trigger it. You know, stop it. No. Bad. 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 Anyway. Midoriya, you know, went into berserker mode. And yes, it was that easy.
You might want to pause it.
Okay, hold on a second. Alright, so I decided this is where I'm going to cut the video off. It's been 44 minutes, so yeah, it's a good time. Anyway, if y'all want a part 2 of this or part 2 to anything else, tell me in the comments below. And that's gonna be all for this time, you guys. I'll see you all next time. Bye.
There is none in the